So I was removing the menstrual cup and then she saw the blood and she said, Amma, what blood? I said, no, baby, it's just periods. When I was taking the cup out of the cupboard to go to sterilize, I told her, Amma got my periods, so Amma is taking the cup again. And she said, okay. So she is not really bothered. My job is just to make her understand that Amma is open to these kind of conversations.
Hey Swati, so nice to have
Hi,
you.
Mansi.
Swati is an applied psychology and certified behavior profile analyst, certified lactation expert, counselor, and is also Dr. Shreya's lean health coach. Seen your Instagram feed, and it's very exciting to know how you've been doing some incredible amount of work in educating parents about how you should go about that conversation. That there's so much curiosity about the period conversation, or what is periods or whatever. So tell me, how have you explained that to your child?
Yeah, so as I told you, I didn't start off with a proper paragraph kind of explanation. I just told her that Amma is going, because we were taking bath at that time. She was around 2.5. So I was removing the menstrual cup and then she saw the blood and she said, Amma, what blood? I said, no, baby, it's just periods. So she said, does it hurt? And I said, no, baby, it doesn't hurt. So that was the first conversation. Next, what happened? That cycle, she didn't ask anything. The following cycle, when I was taking the cup out of the cupboard to go to sterilize, I told her, Amma got my period, so Amma is taking the cup again. And she said, okay. So she is not really bothered. My job is just to make her understand that Amma is open to these kind of conversations. Yeah. So I just told her about cup again. And then the following conversation, I told her that the blood comes from the uterus. So again, as I already told you, they won't understand what it is. Like when you say neck or shoulder also, they are actually not understanding anything. You're just telling, you're just pointing and just telling, that's all. Similarly, I just pointed and told her that the blood comes from the uterus. So as I told you, I just kept building onto this conversation. Now she can take a full-fledged class on menstrual cups. She's really aware of what happens during menstruation.
How long have you been using it?
I've been using it for 6 years now.
How were you first introduced and what got you to start using the menstrual cup?
Yeah, so when I started using cloth diapers for my daughter, when she was around 4 months of age, I got introduced to cloth diapers. So I stopped using disposable diapers at that time. And I continued using it till she turned 18 months. She was potty trained by 18, 19 months. So till then I was using this. But in the meantime, I got my periods when I was around 10, when she was around 10 months of age. So that time I thought, okay, I've stopped using disposable diapers for her, which takes around 500 to 800 years to decompose. But then I'm using sanitary napkins, which takes the same 500 to 800 years to decompose. Yeah. So I should also make the change someday. And then, so I got into a Facebook group called Sustainable Menstruation India. And then they had been discussing about cups for a while then. And I just got a cup and just experimented and then used. After, I think, trying 2 to 3 brands, I found what worked for me. So now I take classes on menstrual cups also.
There's always this fear that it's going to hurt. What do you say to all the women who are, who have a cup in their cupboard, but they haven't even still tried it?
First thing I do in my sessions are 1.5 to 2 hours long, mainly because I talk a lot about the anatomy. So once there is a clear picture about what happens inside the body once the cup is gone in. So what is the vaginal canal? What is the cervix? What is the cervical canal? Where is the uterus? What happens inside the fallopian tube or the ovaries or whatever? When the anatomy is explained in a very clear manner, their fears actually go off. So first of all, they have to get to know what the anatomy looks like and where the cup sits inside the body. Number 2, cups are very soft. It's made of medical grade silicone. It's not even as hard as a penis. So if sexual intercourse is fine and okay for them, menstrual cups will be actually simpler than that. In fact, not at all hurtful, nothing. You won't even feel that the cup is inside you. So they should never compare the insertion of a menstrual cup with sexual intercourse. Both are different.
I think that's
somebody else is doing it, you are doing it. So there's a huge difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's actually asked, do menstrual cups work on vacuum?
Yeah, it creates suction inside, and that's how it's held inside the vaginal canal.
It's a habit change that we're talking of, right, Swati? Because you use sanitary napkins always, then you're making that shift. So the biggest fear is, will I stain, right? Am I wearing it right and therefore staining it,
correct.
right? So
correct.
Is it normal that the first couple of times you will get it wrong and then you will get it right eventually.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There is a learning curve. There is definitely a learning curve. Only some women figure it out in the first cycle. Most women take 2 to 3 cycles. I myself took 4 to 5 cycles to figure out how to use cups. So sometimes it'll be the angle of insertion. Sometimes it'll be a different fold that works for that particular brand. Sometimes they'll have to go for a different material. Sometimes the size itself might be different, but then my point is, when they're using it and when they find something is not okay, they have to figure out what is going wrong and what kind of cup should I buy next time. So that is the kind of information that I put in my classes. But they don't really need classes. They can just watch some YouTube videos and they can start using. Only thing is, when something is not working, they have to understand, oh, the cup is slipping down, so maybe the diameter is smaller. I have to go for a bigger diameter. For that, first of all, they have to understand about the vaginal canal. Only then they'll think about the diameter.
Right.
You get my point now. So
Yes,
one is connected to the other.
It's like a funnel, right? It's like a funnel.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what is
Yes.
going to clog the funnel for it
Correct.
to kind of flow? People have asked you for a recommendation on which menstruation cups brands to buy. So any recommendations there?
No, I don't recommend any brands because all brands are working for different women. So for example, when I tried soft cups, it didn't work for me. But my friends are all happy with soft cups. So I cannot today just promote hard material cups and tell people that, this will work for everybody. That doesn't work that way.
Infection and sterilization. So does it need separate equipment to sterilize, or how do you sterilize it?
You can sterilize it with a normal steel bowl. In a normal steel bowl, you can, if water can immerse the cup, just boil the water, put the cup in for 2-3 minutes and it's fine. See, the thing that they have to think about is, does a penis go through sterilization before intercourse?
No. Right.
So they really don't have to worry much about it. Soap and water is more than enough. But still, just for safety's sake, we sterilize it. There is no chance of infection or anything because of cups. Otherwise, people won't be using it for 10-15 years continuously. When I was on that group, that Facebook group, there were people who were using it for 7 years at that time, which means now they're using it for 13-14 years now.
Right. Also, do you need to sterilize it like after every cycle, or you sterilize it every time you change your cup or
No. Only between cycles. They don't have to use it. Sorry, only after cycles. They don't have to sterilize it in between cycles.
In between.
So on day 1 and day 4, day 5, whenever
they pair, aisa nahi hota.
No. You just need one.
What we've addressed is that there are no infections. It's fairly simple to use. You can watch a couple of YouTube videos. You're not going to get it right if you've at the first go, so there will be multiple iterations that will happen, of course. And the last bit of it is that of course, that you have to find your own to kind of know that which brand actually works for you, which actually works for you.
It might take some trial and error, but if they're patient enough, they'll definitely figure it out in 2-3 cycles.
But let me ask you this: that when your daughter reaches her menstruation, would you advise a cup or a sanitary napkin or a cloth?
Since I think she will be very confident about her anatomy, if that's the case, I'll get her a small size cup.
Right. Do you feel like you would want her, like, and this is a common thing, that when girls are starting out, do you feel like if you introduce them to the choices and then let them make their own, or would you say that just start off with this and it'll work fine? Yeah,
see, she's always going to have choices, always, all the time. So definitely I'm going to tell her these are your choices. But my preference would be cups. But then it all depends upon how comfortable she is with insertion. The only thing about first timers or young girls or 13-14-year-olds who have just started out is their confidence level about their anatomy. The youngest cup user who has attended my workshop was age 14 when she attended it. It's 2 years since she's using. She's very happy with it.
Right.
So I'll definitely give her the choice. If she wants to use organic pads or cotton pads or something, let her start with that, and slowly she can transition to cups by 15-16 years. That's one thing that she can do. If she's confident at age 13-14 itself to use cups, then I don't mind.
Which is incredible that you say that. Also, has anybody ever hurt themselves using a cup, like if they've not done it properly, and because the area is so sensitive that even a slight flicker can hurt you. So
nobody has hurt themselves. But girls, since my classes are attended by unmarried women or women who are not sexually active, they have had a lot of inhibitions while trying, number one. Number two, girls who go through painful penetration or girls who have vaginismus, they have difficulty to use cups. So if they have a pelvic floor tightness issue or any kind of vaginismus related issue, then I ask them to seek help with a pelvic floor physiotherapist first, sort their problem, and then think about cups.
Does menstrual cup affect virginity?
First of all, there is no such thing called virginity. So if they mean hymen, they can watch one IGTV video that I've done on hymen. So they'll get a clear picture about what is hymen and whether it will impact the usage of menstrual cup at all. Otherwise, as I told you, plenty of YouTube videos that will clear up the concept. But basically what they need to understand is there is nothing called virginity. It's just a social construct.